Well, welcome to a new bike blog. So I have a cold today. So I had a cold, I got over it, and then a couple of days later it came right back. So my voice sounds a little funny, my nose is a little stuffy, and I got a sore throat. But you got to keep going and keep fighting it. So going on this interesting road, we came off this bridge, and I noticed it ended in this road. So these roads are partially interesting. But you saw I just went by a car there without much room. So you see there's a bunch of guys there hanging out at the pagoda kind of place. And, they're great. They're like in the country, they're interesting and fun. A lot of them have just beautiful views of the countryside and uh, the farms and things like that. But when a car goes by, especially cars going both ways, it can be quite dangerous. So, it's good and it's bad. But I do really enjoy these roads. It's like a bike path, but it's a road. So as we're enjoying this road, sometimes you get cars like this just parked right almost in the middle of the road. So from a biking perspective, it is really fun. I mean, you have to pay attention and all kinds of interesting things. I've come across like coffee houses and restaurants in the middle of fields. Very interesting and fun. And, hard to find in a car because this isn't a major road. I'm sure these cars know what they're doing, but, I certainly would never find these things. So it's been really fun exploring by car. This is an interesting area. You see all the different vehicles? This has farm vehicles, like you're in the deep country somewhere. But then it also has, normal cars and trucks. See, this is what I mean. This car is really almost pushing me off the road. And again, they don't go very fast. So it's, essentially it's pretty safe. But there's not much room for cars and for bikes. So if there was ever a truck who just went like crazy fast, it would be dangerous. But you see the beautiful views. I love the clouds. This is a really interesting cloud formation. And also, you see in this distance, there's this white bridge. And I just love the bridges in Korea. I just keep wanting to stop and just enjoy them. So here, I think I'm just stopping to take a quick break. So you just need those once in a while. Again, what I've learned is don't be in competition with anybody. I'm just not that kind of rider. So I ride until I get tired, take a short break, ride some more until I get tired. So I like to take these kinds of breaks. What do you think of this view? Again, I love the trees. I love this rough kind of road. There's a beautiful bridge coming up. And then to the left is this large field that's really pretty. So you can be kind of close to the city, but at the same time, kind of far away too. So time to end that little break. It actually was a long break. I actually had to cut it out a little bit, or I should cut it out a little bit. So here again, you have a choice there. I could have gone down to the bike trail, or I could have stayed on this road. The road is higher up, so you get much better views. But you see, this road is not in very good condition. A lot of bumpy things and all that. But that's what makes it fun. You get this little choice. So, this thing happens to go under this little tunnel. Then we pop back out again. So again, this is totally different view now. I don't know what this wall was, but this wall was kind of fun and interesting. So there's some kind of manufacturing. So again, this had nothing on this road. It was just a country road. Now we're coming into some kind of light manufacturing or something. Not sure what this is going to turn out to be. Interesting though. I have to admit, I'm just fascinated by so many different things. When I get home, I like videos on how things are made. I find the different vehicles to be fascinating. I find the people to be fascinating. You never know who you're going to run into. I've seen, really older people enjoying bike rides. I've seen people all decked out in their bike kits. They look really professional. I've seen people just casual like me. So, it's very, very interesting to me. You can barely hear it, but there's a little squeak, and I haven't figured out what that is. So that squeak bothered me a little bit, but I can't find it, and it doesn't seem to affect anything. So maybe there's just some little tiny twig sometimes gets caught, and you can't get it out. If you hear it a little bit, it was annoying when I rode. You know, as I'm riding, it's squeak, squeak, squeak. But I think it eventually just goes away after a while. It's one of the joys of biking. You know, there's different noises. Uh, with my wide tires, I have this on the road. So I've tried to minimize that. And sometimes you get a squeak. So it's just the way it is. This only affects it seems to be on, real roads where it's flat. It doesn't do it on bumpier roads. So, you know, okay, so now we're going to go off this main road and now we're on some little side trail thing. I think it's because we're going to go over a bridge. That's what it looks like. A bridge is coming up. There's a bus stop we're going by. And then you have this. This is really crazy. This car is parked right on the trail. And it's a really busy road. So how am I supposed to get by? I have to be very careful. Let me let me almost walk the bike around here, but I can't take too much time because there's traffic. That was a dangerous maneuver. So this is a bridge. So we're slowly making our way over this bridge. Yeah, I don't really hear that squeak anymore. So as I said, it just doesn't seem to affect anything. So now we're going to pull down into this little area here. Um, this seems to be a really famous cafe. So I'm on this beautiful downhill. So enjoying this downhill. But this seems to be a very famous coffee shop of some sort. And it ends up on this little walkway, this wooden walkway. And it's right by the river and it's very beautiful. I always meant to go to that coffee shop. But while I'm out and about on the bike, I just have no desire for coffee or for cakes or anything. I'd much rather just bring my own. I seem to make better cakes anyway. But this little pathway is really cool to go on. I've done it a number of times. I might even have it on the other video, but I think I was going the other way. So I'm going the opposite direction now. What a beautiful pathway this is. And I photographed this, apparently going both ways now, but also I've seen it from the other side of the river. Just by pure chance, I found the other side. Wasn't looking for it, but I stopped and I said, wait a minute, that's the other side. So this is a very popular spot. There seems to be camping along here. I don't know what else is here. But as I get further along into this wooded area, it just becomes more and more populated with people. So, and what a pleasure to ride. Now, when I say pleasure, sometimes it's not because there's too many people. And you almost feel like, I think it's a shared spot, but I can't just ride. I've got to always worry about the people. But this spot right here is beautiful. There's no people. It's, shaded, beautiful trees everywhere. It's just a beautiful spot to go on. And again, I just was on a street and now I'm on this trail. The beauties of biking, you know? Yeah, I love these tree-lined areas, like a tree-lined path. And it's starting to pick up with the people. And that's what you get, a lot of walking people. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. It's just harder for them to walk and harder for me to bike. So why don't we stop here and just enjoy some music, enjoy the scenery. right, so here we are coming out of this forest. The squeak came back, which is always interesting. Um, like I said, sometimes it's just you ride the bike in the rain or something, and now there's water somewhere, or mud somewhere. So it's just something you got to get used to. I remember checking this very carefully, and I never saw any problem. But so now we're waiting on the main street, just coming out of this wooded area. So it took a while to figure out what all this was and where it all is. So I know if I go this way to the right, I know there's a way across this major street. And there's this park over here. There's this, one of those parks where you can walk barefoot, if I remember correctly. So you take your shoes off and you're supposed to walk, and it massages the bottom of your feet. So many tasteful things here. So many nice things for citizens to be healthy. So I've seen that just packed with people, and I've seen some of them made of, looks like they're like, I don't know what it is, some kind of, not bamboo, but I don't know, I can't describe it. I've seen some of it sandy, and I've seen some of it pure mud, and it's supposed to be that way. Seem to have nothing to do with the weather. Like there's some kind of mud that's really good for your feet. So I've never done that. Partly because if I did that, how would I wash my feet and dry them completely so I can continue my ride? So I don't know how they do that. I think there must be a cleaning station somewhere. And I guess in the middle of the hot summer, you don't wear socks anyway, so it's fine if your feet are a little wet. But in the bike, I always wear socks. All right, I think we can finally go. So we're crossing the street now. Like these billboards. For my company, we tried to use those billboard ones. It's only this one spot you get. It's not terribly expensive, but they do seem to work. Like friends of mine saw me because it had my picture on it. They actually called me, hey, we saw you on this billboard. So I guess it does work. So time to go again. What I'll do in post is to cut out all this waiting time. I'm sure you don't want to sit at a stoplight and just wait mindlessly. So again, this is like the first time I've done this, I believe, or maybe the second time. I think it's the second time because I do seem to know where I'm going. And it ends in this really nice trail system. Again, it's so livable here. Look how beautiful this pathway is. They didn't need to make all this. They could have ripped this all apart and just put, horrible apartments. But they really work hard to make things livable. I'm very impressed with Korea just for that, you know. Now, some of these are getting old. I'm sure they did these 10 years ago, but they eventually fixed them all. They do a wonderful job here. So for their citizens, they really work hard to make it livable. Like you can see, this one's wearing out, but I'm sure, next few years you'll come in and it'll all be new. I've had this happen a number of times on my ride. Things that look a mess, and I come back and, well, wait, this is all new. So it is kind of amazing. But again, I love these little places to sit to the left. You're surrounded by trails. You're right by the river. These trees are just beautiful. And some of these trees will probably blossom as we go. So very, very nice here. So many places to sit and relax. It's kind of hot out today. So any of those places would be nice to sit. So I think it's a good time for a music break. All right, so that beautiful trail has dumped us out again. Looks like, maybe some light manufacturing or offices or something. These offices, or whatever they are so interesting because they feel like they're in the country. And to the left are these beautiful fields leading down to the river. I mean, what a nice place for an office. And so now we're going from those trails, for the apartment complexes down to a real bike path. That's just what I love. One of the things I really love about biking is that, just keep changing the perspective, changing what we're seeing and doing. There's this little funny thing at the top of the screen. I think it's maybe my strap or something. Is there something gleaming off my strap? Very strange. Yeah, it seems to have slowly going away here. You know, as you make these videos in different ways, should I go in post and clean it all up and make it perfect? Or should I just leave little imperfections? Because that's what makes the ride interesting. The little squeaks, that little funny thing coming up. I don't know what that is. It'd be really hard to fix that. I'm not sure what that is. So here we are in a nice wide path. And again, these are just dreams. There's no cars, there's nothing dangerous. It's full of greenery, fields on both sides and river views and sometimes mountain views, you know, just like a dream. So nice. So I hope you're enjoying this kind of content. Um, I know this is not a very old channel. We have very few subscribers, but if you're watching this and enjoying it, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe and make a comment or two, or just hit the like button, some kind of interaction. Really helps me. I mean, I'm probably just going to make these even if I have 0 subscribers. I don't do it for subscribers, but I want to make content that you're happy with, that you would find interesting, you know? Because some of these rides I like to just have music. I don't comment, I don't do anything. And when I do those type, I put the camera right connected to the bike. But then the bike noise is so strong, I can't talk. So as I've mentioned before, this time I have it using the neck mount, the DJI neck mount. And so, with this one, I can just talk and it picks it up quite well. But in this one, I believe I'm using the normal bike mount, but I'm in post later on after this is done, I'm talking you through it. It's just another way of doing it. Both are interesting. I really like talking as I'm riding because, sometimes you hear the birds or, you hear the sounds around me or even the wind noise is fun. But you also hear the I'm huffing and puffing, and sometimes I make funny noises because I'm working hard. So, I mean, they're both good. I like these both things. I'm so curious. There's this light thing coming right into the picture. I don't know what that could be. Is it something on the lens, maybe? It's very interesting. But like I said, I like to keep it real. I don't know what that is. So if I stop looking at it, I don't see it anymore. So I apologize for that. I don't know what that is. But you still get the general idea of the ride. But again, that's realistic. On a ride, all kinds of things happen. You know, we'll call it a cloud. How about that? Maybe it's just a cloud. I think it's something stuck on the lens or something like that. But who knows? Who knows what it is? So this trail is nice too. It's really feels like country now, but I'm not. I'm so close to the city. I think all cities should be kind of made this way. Very interesting trails. I think those trails up there are from jets. There's one that seems to be connected to the camera somehow, but there's some for jets. So one negative about biking here is sometimes there's a lot of jets going overhead. And so sometimes they can be so loud and annoying. But I haven't really figured all this out yet. Why are they here? You know? But you also feel safe. If there's ever any trouble, we've got like fighter jets everywhere. So it's got to be a safe place. But again, sometimes I see commercial airline here. There is an airport kind of close to here. Um, there's airplanes that go up to Seoul because we're not in Seoul, and sometimes it goes to Jeju Island. That seems to be the two biggest routes. But yeah, it's kind of nice. I'm in a mid-sized city that has an airport. Actually, it's pretty useful. We went to Jeju once as a family, and from our city, it was cheaper to go to Jeju than it was to go to Seoul, and that was taking an airplane. The airplanes to Jeju, biggest island in Korea, is very cheap, very easy to get on and off and ride. One problem, though, is that I think I have a video here somewhere. I'm not sure if I posted it or not. We took this trip to Jeju, and there's something about the time of year we went where the plane just shook like crazy. I mean, it was really dangerously shaking. And we learned later that no one cares. It's totally okay. No problem at all. It was just, our family, it was like, it's just going to be okay. But you can see the trails. I think those are from airplanes. Kind of a shame, but that's the way it is. Anyway, you don't hear them. Most of the time they're too high, so it doesn't really affect us. And once in a while you do hear it. Part of life, I guess. And you can't expect perfection while riding. Who knows what's going to happen? One day you have a perfect ride, you know. I remember one bike ride. I got on the bike, very excited to ride. It was a very beautiful day. And within 5 minutes, it started to pour rain. So I stopped the bike, took all my rain gear out, put all my rain gear on. You know, I'll ride in the rain, no problem. So I got back on the bike, ready to ride again. And 4 minutes later, it completely stopped. It was, bright sunshine again. And it never rained again the whole ride. I had to stop the bike, take all the rain gear off. It's kind of funny. But that's biking. Not always so perfect. So again, this is the time where, I mentioned this, I love riding by myself. But once in a while, it's nice to hear other people's stories. What have you experienced while biking? So that's sometimes fun, the good, the bad, the ugly about biking. So I've had some just perfect rides, perfect weather, conditions were perfect. And I've had some other rides, it's been pouring rain. Or I remember one trail that looked completely okay. And right in the middle of the trail, there was, a huge puddle. I mean, it would have enveloped the bike. So I had to turn all around and go all the way back and all the way around again. So you just never know. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed talking. I need to rest my voice because I am sick today. But I hope you enjoy. And let's just close this out with some more music. And I hope you enjoy this format. Please comment what you think of it. So this is a ride where I didn't blog it. I didn't blog it. I didn't speak during the ride, but, like I still want to make a blog out of it, or a vlog, or a bike vlog, whatever we're calling these. And so works pretty well too. So you have a mixture then of music and, the ride. So I hope you enjoy it.